All right, we can report good news from Las Vegas. Lee Murphy Welter here for you guys right here for Rapid Reaction on YouTube as the Carolina Hurricanes have tied this series at 2 after a 5-3 win versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Guys, our trip to the desert worked. We buried the hat trick,
Yes,
right?
we did.
If you didn't see that, go to Pat's Instagram page. It's all there right now. You see what we buried the hat trick. Mitch Marner didn't have a goal in this. Nobody else had a hat trick in this game. Vegas could only score 3 goals, which for them, only 3 goals is really stopping them. But the most important thing is the Canes come out of Las Vegas with the tied series, and now home ice advantage shifts back in Carolina's favor.
I'm leaving Vegas down about $60, which feels about right, all things considered. I'm happy with that. And the Canes leave Vegas with the series even. And I think that is the appropriate result as well. Because, I mean, you look at these games, all of them essentially decided by 1 goal, 2 of them in overtime. This one gets the empty netter at the end. And it's really come down to, Brian, you know, Vegas's outstanding skill. You could argue they have maybe the 3 best players in the series, but the Canes have that system and a little bit more skill than they've had. And really, to me, this one came down to them just not making that extra mistake. It was Vegas that did in the 3rd period, and Carolina, to their credit, made him pay.
To me, it came down to 2 people. Jordan Stahl, the oldest guy on the team, and Brandon Bussi, the least experienced guy on the team. Jordan Stahl, 2 goals, including the game winner while he's falling down flat on his face. Amazing backhand shot. He's just willing this team, I think, in a lot of ways, and telling guys, get on my back. I'm going to show you how it's done. One of 2 guys on the team that has a cup already in the twilight of his career, even though he doesn't look like it, in the twilight of his career, trying to get that 2nd cup. And then Rod Brindamore makes the tough choice to go with Brandon Bussi. He says, Freddie Andersen, after just a 1-minute conversation with his goalie coach, said Freddie needs a day off, gave Freddie Andersen the day off, put Brandon Bussi in and gave him a full day off. Freddie Andersen didn't even dress for this game. Brandon Bussi comes in. I thought he made a big stop early in the game off a pseudo breakaway, 2 quick rebounds right after that, kind of settled those nerves down. And I thought he was good, very good, good enough to get the win. I asked Rod Brindamore in the press conference if he's going to go to Bussi in Game 5. He said, I'm not making any decisions tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays it. But I thought Jordan Stahl, the old guy, Brandon Bussi, the waiver wire pickup in his first year in the NHL.
Yeah.
This kind of, to win a game in the Stanley Cup, even if he never plays, in this series again, he's more than done his job to help this team.
Yeah, we're going to be on goalie watch for the next day or so, but it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening there. One thing I thought was interesting in this game, though, as we talked about those goals, you had Jordan Stahl with the 2 goals, but then you also have Stankoven and Jackson Blake with goals. Taylor Hall, of course, helped out with some assists. And it feels like, you had the old and the new mixing in this game. We had some times during the playoffs where that didn't necessarily happen for the Carolina Hurricanes. It felt like it was either the old guard was coming through for them, or it was the younger guys, the new acquisitions within the last year or 2 that was coming in to be the heroes of the game. It felt like this was even for the Carolina Hurricanes. That has to feel good for them as a whole as they're headed back to RAL.
And they're not outmatched like we've seen in series past, versus the Florida Panthers that we always love to bring up, who had the system that the Canes had. They had more physicality and they had more skill, and the Canes just could not keep up. This series, as we talked about, is truly even. And I think what we've seen is that the Canes have faith in their game.
For sure.
They've seen through 4 games now that if they stick to their process and don't make mistakes, they can and probably will win this series. But yet again, it's not just about mental errors. It is Vegas inducing those mistakes. And I don't even know necessarily Carolina made mistakes in this one. It was just how darn good Vegas is. Like Mark Stone,
individual plays.
This guy is such a winner. Like, you would love to have him on your team, right? He's so gritty and he's so opportunistic, and he skirts beyond the defense. Even though Carolina was talking about that the last couple of days, they're talking about Mitch Marner. They forgot about Mark Stone. He jets behind. He beats Bussi on an incredible goal, and then Brett Howden with another one as well.
Yeah,
And then the other one was Mitch Marner's. We were talking about helps set them up, gets them in the zone. Shea Theodore gets it behind the net, and they're able to cash. So they just have some outstanding players. But again, just like not making the big one. Like the guys like Alexander Nikishin out there, can you just not screw up? Can you not let them blow by? If
he looked a lot better in this game, by the way.
He did.
He looked a lot better in this game.
Seth Jarvis didn't show up on the score sheet. Maybe he got an assist on the stalled goal, but that play I thought sort of indicative of what this series is. Seth Jarvis gets the puck right in front of the net. is unable to score, then kind of fights three guys to poke the puck to Ehlers. Ehlers kind of whiffs on his pass to Stahl, and it's Stahl who finds this puck and backhands it while falling down in. Like, it takes contributions up and down the lineup. Everybody's got to do even just a little bit to get it done. But again, another game where the Hurricanes were up 2-0. They were up 3-1. For the fourth time in the series, we've seen a multi-goal lead disappear. You know, the Vegas was able to hold on and win game 3 after blowing a multi-goal lead. Carolina able to hold on and win this one after blowing a multi-goal lead. No lead is safe in this series.
No.
And I thought game 1, game 2 were sort of the anomalies. No, this is the series. A lot of goals. I think 33 goals now scored through 4 games in the series. This is the series. You're going to have to score a lot of goals, and you're going to just have to make some timely saves, and I thought Bussi did that tonight.
To that point, third most right now in Stanley Cup final history through game 4. The most is 36, and I think that happened 45 years ago in 81, if I have my memory correct on that. It's amazing to see what's happening with that for this series, but also just for the Carolina Hurricanes, as we talked about before, getting better, it seems like, every single game, right, as the series goes on. They didn't like the second period of game 3, but I did think that overall in periods 1 and 3 and also in overtime, they played very well. It was just one period that really put the dagger in their back. In this game in particular, you look at how that we were talking about, all three of us upstairs, like they need to go back to the dump and retrieve, keep it into your offensive zone a little bit longer and make Vegas tired. And you see that goal that Stahl, the game winner for Stahl that he scored, that pretty much was that Vegas trying to clear, couldn't clear. They get the great turnover, and they're already tired. He's able to backhand it in there. That's the Canes game. If they can really stick to it, they can probably take game 5.
Yeah, it's all about the forecheck, right? Did you do that? Pressure and good things happen. This stress game, and it goes both ways because both teams are doing it, inducing people into these mistakes. And I guess what I wonder now is, like, there's 2 things. What should Rod Brind'Amour do with the goalie? And what will he do with the goalie? And I'm not sure I know the answer to either. Like, I was a little partial to Bussi going into the playoffs just because I'd seen, obviously, Frederik Andersen's worst regular season. I'd also seen the playoffs past where he'd be good, not great, or run into a goalie that was a little bit better. And Bussi was so good during the regular season. But in hindsight, you're going with the guy that has the playoff experience. Well, now Bussi has Stanley Cup experience. He did it. Is there something beginner's luck to just being thrust into it? And you almost can't think, you just react. I know in my short, humble time as an athlete, sometimes that would help me. And then when I had success, you start thinking about it more. But again, I'm not a pro athlete. Bussi is a very even measured guy. That was the quote he gave to us yesterday. He said he felt very even keeled going into this. He's very humble. He's very grounded. He's had a whole season now to deal with fame. He's now dealt with going back to being someone anonymous. I think all of us have kind of made it a point in the locker room not to forget about him. Yeah. I know you talked to him on the record. I talked to him off the record a little bit. I got to meet his family a little bit before the game. They all flew in kind of at a last minute notice. Like, holy cow, our son, our soon-to-be husband, our nephew is going to play a Stanley Cup game. I mean, what a story either way. But something you said earlier, Brian, I think nails it. Like, regardless of what happens, it's a win for Bussi, but will it be a win for the Canes? And what Brind'Amour does here ultimately could be that deciding factor.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I don't have to make that decision. Rod Brind'Amour gets paid a lot of money to make that decision. My big takeaway from leaving Las Vegas, and look, this is a city that I love, as I've told you guys many times.
He loves this place.
He does.
This is his town.
Responsibly.
This is his town.
This place, the T-Mobile Arena, the pregame show, amazing. The fans and the crowd,
Always going there.
not amazing. At the end of the game, Let's Go Canes was ringing out of this place as the pockets of Canes fans were here. The Lenovo Center, like, I haven't been to a lot of hockey arenas, but they call it the loudest house in the NHL, and no doubt it's ahead of this place. It felt like these guys, look, I'm not saying they don't love their team all over town. Vegas clearly loves the Golden Knights, and why not? They've been in the finals 3 times in 9 years, but Canes fans, I think, can make a difference in the way that Vegas fans certainly didn't make a difference.
I have a little bit of data on that. We'll share more on WRAL in the next coming days. But I did some measurements in games 2 and games 3. And spoiler alert, Lenovo Center is louder, but we'll have more. That's a tease for you guys. I do want to go back to something because we were talking about this before somewhere in our Vegas trip here. 20 years ago, there's a goalie change as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, is history shaping up kind of the same as it was back in 2006?
Yeah, I did a little research on this, and Doug Wharf, former executive of the Hurricanes, first tweeted it out. I went and looked. So in the 06 Eastern Conference Final, so around earlier, Cam Ward, who was the Stanley Cup hero, actually got pulled in game 3. Same situation. He allowed 4 goals in a period, just like Freddie Andersen did. He got pulled. The Canes came back and only lost that game by 1 goal, just like they did in game 3 of this game. And then they started Martin Gerber in game 4, and he got the win. He got a shutout victory, just like Bussi did. I know he didn't get a shutout, but he got the win. They play Gerber in game 5. They go with him. He gets lit up, allows 3 goals early in that game. They bring in Ward. The Canes come back and win it. And of course, Ward is the goalie the rest of the way. But it's a roster for a reason. You don't just play your starters the whole time. It's a roster for a reason. You kind of need everyone. And whether this is it for Brandon Bussi, I don't think it is. I think he plays again in this series at some point. I'm not sure if he starts game 5, but I think he definitely plays. But it takes a roster, and Kochetkov, who hasn't even played for the Hurricanes since December, dresses and is the backup tonight. So, Rod Brind'Amour going deep into the bench a little bit, and I think Bussi will play. I'm not sure he's going to start in game 5.
And then you talk about needing an entire roster. I think that goes for both teams, because as good as guys like Brett Howden on the Vegas side has been, and Jordan Staal and Mitch Marner then there's all these other stars that haven't really showed up on both teams, like Pavel Dorofeyev, who led Vegas in goals in the regular season, has none in this series. Jack Eichel, none in this series. Right. And now, obviously, on the Canes side, Seth Jarvis is the big game winner, but Sebastian Aho is still quiet. Svechnikov.
Did Svechnikov play tonight? I mean, I'm not. It's not a crack on him. I really didn't notice him out there at all. Like, that top line was kind of shut down.
The top line was shut down. I thought I noticed Svechnikov a few times.
Didn't take a dumb penalty.
Didn't take a crazy penalty. I felt like there were times where he helped the Canes, save the puck within the zone, not making sure it didn't get out or whatever. But I don't think I saw anything too spectacular from him. You would like to see, as I think that this is where Pat was going, you like to see Svech and Aho step up, have that game, put the Canes on your back, and have that game where we're the first line. We're gonna step up. We're going to make the big-time plays. We're going to score the goals, and we're going to win because of us. They haven't won because of them in a long time.
You got the Nikolai Ehlers game in a loss, right?
Yeah.
Well, he got his 2-goal output. You got the Jordan Staal game and more, right? Like
every game.
Seth Jarvis got his game winner. He had his moment, but who's going to have that next moment?
Yeah.
Right? And, how many times can it be Logan Stakeopen, in that second line? So it's a Winter Cup. You need players to make big plays. It's all it comes down to.
I mean, we think of best of 3 as baseball, right?
Yeah.
You play a series, it's a 3-game series. Well, that's what the Stanley Cup Final is down to. It's a best of 3.
Yeah.
Carolina's got 2 of those games at Lenovo Center. I'm sure the crowd is going to be crazy. Can you win 2 games? Can you win 2 out of 3? That's all the season's been going on since October. Can you win 2 out of 3? That's what this entire season has come down to for both teams.
Look how
for both Vegas and Carolina.
How even the scoring is: 33 goals, 17 for the Canes, 16 for the Golden Knights. The one extra goal is the empty netter that we saw tonight. So this thing really is like 50-50. The Canes can go home, get a little bit of rest, but make sure that they come ready to play in front of their fans.
Would anyone be surprised if this goes 7?
I would be betting on it. You guys got me thinking. Bet's talking about 50-50.
Feels like
best 2 out of 3. I'm like, I like those odds. Let me sit at that table. I'm down 60. Can I get back flush, baby?
It went 7 20 years ago. Maybe it'll go 7, 20 years later here in 2026. We'll have to see. We have a flight to catch, so we're gonna go get packed. And we'll be right back in Raleigh.
And then we're going to go to the casino.
We're probably going to go to the
all
casino.
night, and we're going to win all the money.
We'll be right back in Raleigh so we can cover Game 5 for you guys. We'll see you Thursday night at Lenovo Center. Make sure you like, subscribe, hype, everything that you can do on this video. Comment, let us know who is your favorite Canes player, who needs to improve. Do you want Bussi? Do you want Andersen? Let us know down in the comments right now. For Murph and Welter, I'm Chris Lee. We'll see you guys soon.